back to the QST YouTube channel. Today I'll be explaining the term 2 week, term 3 week 2 chemistry quiz. Given an arithmetic sequence with first term -2 and the common difference of 6, what is the 15th term? Okay, so look. So let's call the sequence U of n is equal to n1, not n1, u1 in this case, since we call it the sequence u1 plus n minus 1, n being the number, like here 15th term and here as well 15th term. D is the common difference. u1 is the first term, so -2 plus 14 times 6. -2 plus 14 times 6 will give us 82. Okay. Part B. What is the sum of the first 15 terms? S of n, which is the sum, is equal to n over 2 of the 2 times the first, like 2 times the first value plus n minus 1 d. So here, since the n is 15 and n minus 1, n is also okay, and a1 is -2, d is 6. So 15 over 2 brackets 2 times -2 plus 15 minus 1, which is 14, times d, which is 6, is equal to 600. Okay. Number 2. Sean started cycling at 11:55 a.m. and cycled for 2 1/3 hours. What time did he stop? Okay. Here, 2 1/3 hours means 2 hours and 20 minutes. Okay. So, first let's add 20 minutes to 11:55. If we do that, that will be 12:15. Then we add the 2 hours, it will be 2:15. Wait, no, this will be PM. And then 2:15 PM as well. Or 14, like colon 15 without anything AM or PM. 14:15. These two mean the exact same thing, so don't get confused. Number 3. The price of a mobile phone decreased from 500 to 400 in 1 year. The percentage decrease in price. Okay. To find the percentage change in anything, we do final, which I'll represent by F, minus initial, which I'll represent by I, over initial. So in this case, it's gonna be 400 minus 500 over 500. But here, since they said percentage decrease, and if it's negative, if the percentage change is negative, it's decreasing, so we just remove the negative either way. So as I said, it's 400 minus 500 over 500 minus 500, and then you do that. I forgot to mention that it's this times 100. So here as well, times 100, and it will give us 20%. 20%. Okay. Rami invested $5,000 in an account that pays an annual interest rate of 3% compounded annually. Okay, so for here, the value of investment, which I'll represent with the V, is going to be the money initial, which I'll represent with I, plus 1 plus wait, is it plus or times? 1 plus percentage, which is rate, over 100. Just make sure with you guys if it's times or plus. Oh wait, right. And then 1 plus R over 100, T, which is time, which is here they said 5 years. So 5,000 plus 1 plus R is 3%, so 3 over 100. T, which is 5. That will just give me a second. Okay, so for part B, the rule is initial, which will we're gonna represent the investment with I is equal to which is equal to 5. The initial I'll represent with P, okay, times 1 plus R over R is like the interest rate here, R over 100, that to the power of number of years, which I'll represent as T or time. So 5,000 times 1 plus 3% or 3 over 100 to the power of 5. That will give us 5796. Since here they asked for the nearest $100, we're gonna round it to the nearest 100. So here, and then we add 1 here, so it's 5,800. Okay. So finally for part C, the price of an item increased by 30% to become $117. The price of this item before this increase was, okay, so let's define the rule of increasing in price. So normally it would be X, let's say, is the price of the product originally, X plus how much it increased, which I'll name Ix, is equal to the total, which will be T. So here I is 30% or 0.3. So X plus 0.3X is equal to 117. So 1.3x is equal to 117 because we add up. 1.3x is equal to 117. So we do 117 divided by 1.3, which is equal to 90. Okay. Number 4. Select on the grid below the vertices of image ABC under the translation vector of -2, 3, followed by a reflection of in the line x is equal to -1. First, let's get the coordinates of the point originally. A is here, B is here, C is here. So A is 3, negative 3. 3, negative 3. Then B is negative 4, wait, no. B is here, which is 1, 2, negative 1, 2, sorry. Negative 1, 2. And C is negative 4, negative 1. Negative 4, negative 1. First, let's apply the translation by the vector. So A prime would be, so we add negative 2 to x and negative 3 to y. So let me erase this. So 1, 0 for A. For A prime, B prime is negative 3, 5, while C prime would be negative 2 plus negative 4, negative 6, 3 plus negative 1, which is 2. Okay. So now let's plot the points with a different color. Let's say green. Okay. So A prime would be 1, 0 here. B prime is negative 3 here. 5 is up there. And C is negative 6, 2. So here. Okay. So now look, here they said they want after we find the coordinates of A prime, B prime, C prime, they want us to do another transformation, which is reflection about the line x is equal to negative 1. The line x is equal to negative 1 is a vertical line, right here at x is equal to negative 1. So around here. Okay. So now to find the what's it called again? To find the image of the points, we're gonna have to calculate the distance between the point and the axis of reflection. So here the distance between A prime and the axis of reflection is 2 units. So that means we're gonna have to move 2 units in the same direction. 1, 2. So A prime is here. Same applies to B prime and C prime. So here B prime, 1, 2. Then we're gonna have to move it 2 more points. 2 more units, sorry, here. B prime would be here, and then C prime 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we move 5 more units in the same direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So let me erase the lines. Okay, here, and then let's join the lines. So this, like in a written part exam, they would ask you to join the points together. Okay. Question number 5. Select on the grid below the vertices of triangle ABC under an enlargement with the center at origin at scale factor -2 and a rotation of 90 degrees clockwise. First, let's get the points A, B, C. A is 0, -1. B is -1, 1. And C is 2, -1. 2, -1. Okay, here since they said first we need to there's an enlargement with the center and the origin and scale factor -2, so we multiply both x and y of each of the points by -2. So A prime would be 0, -0, 2. B prime would be 2, -2. And C prime would be -4, 2. So let me first plot the the points after the enlargement. So A prime 0, 2. نعم سرنجي فوق بعد شوي. Okay, 0. Okay, 0, 2. And then B prime is 2, -2. Then C prime is -4, which is here, 2. Let me make sure I got the points right. A prime is 0, 2. C prime -4. Okay. And now they want it under a 90 degrees rotation. So first let me remove this. Except the points. C, as we said, is -4, 2. Just try to run away from it. Okay, so now they said here they want, after the enlargement, a rotation of 90 degrees clockwise about the origin. So 90 degrees clockwise, 90 degrees clockwise means that we'll just put the y instead of the x, and then like at the y spot we switch the sign of x and then take it there. So y -x. Okay, so A is 0, A prime was 0, 2. B prime was 2, -2. And C prime, which I'll put here, was -4, 2. Okay, so let's start with C prime prime. That would be y, which is 2, then -x, so 2, 4. And then A prime, we would do the same thing. A prime prime, so 2, 0. And then B prime prime would be, so y, which is -2, and then -x, which is also -2. Okay, so let me plot the points in red. Okay, here, here, and here. And the written part exams, they'll probably ask to join, so like this. Okay, we move on to the next question. Number 6. Select on the grid below the vertices of the image ABC under a rotation 90 degrees counterclockwise about the point 0, -2, followed by a translation given by the vector. Okay, so first of all, we need to find out how to make. We need to get the coordinates of each of these points, A, B, and C. So A is 2, -4. B is 4, -4. And C is 2, -1. 2, -1. Okay, here, since in this case it's slightly different, they want the rotation about the point 0, -2. We need to like make a way where, how can I say this? The ori the point of rotation shouldn't be at 0, 2. To make it easier for us, we should make it at the origin. So how do we make 0, -2, 0, 2? We just add 2 to the y, which means we do the same for all points. So instead of A being 2, 4, it will be 2, 6. Then instead of 4, -4 for B, it will be 4, -2. And then instead of 2, -1 for C, it will be 2, 1. Okay, and now let me plot the points. So forget it. So 90 counterclockwise, 90 degrees counterclockwise. That is -yx, -y and x. Okay. So we do the same with all of the points. So -6, 2 for A prime, and then B prime would be 4 negative, no, not 4 negative, sorry, it would be 2, 4, while C prime would be -1, 2. Okay, let me erase all of the old points. Now from here we need to like return it to as if we're actually rotating at 0, -2. So how do we go from the origin to 0, -2? We subtract 2 from y. So A prime becomes -6, 0. B prime becomes 2, 2. And C prime becomes -1, 0. And then after all of this, they want us to do a translation by the vector -3, -2. So with the vector, all we need to do is to add -3 to each of the x's and -2 for each of the y's. So did something wrong here. Definitely did something wrong. Okay, so for this question, they want us to select on the grid below the vertices of the image of triangle ABC under a rotation of 90 degrees counterclockwise about the point 0, -2, followed by a translation given by the vector -3, -2. Okay, so first of all, let's get the coordinates of the points. So A is 2, -4. B is 4, -4. C is 2, 1. 2, -1. Okay, so first we're gonna have to act as if the the point of rotation, okay, is the origin. So we're gonna have to add, so how do we go from -2 on the y to 2, I mean to 0? We add 2 to every single y of the points. So a would become 2 -2, b would become 4 -2, and c would become 2 1. Okay, now we know that counterclockwise rotation with the angle of 90 degrees is -yx. So let me just write it. 90 degrees counterclockwise is equal to -yx. So a prime would be 2 2. B prime would be 2 4. Yeah, 2 4, and C prime would be -1 2. Okay, now we need to go back to like as if the point is 0 -2, so we do -2 from all of the y's. So a prime becomes 2 0, b prime becomes 2 2, and c prime becomes -1 2. I mean -1 0, sorry. And then now we need to add the translation. Okay, so a prime prime, so here like to do the translation we're gonna have to add -3 to x and -2 to y. So a prime prime would be -1 -2, which is here, and then b prime prime would be equal to -1 0, and then c prime prime would be -4 -2. What, I can move this? Okay, so here is -4 -2, here is -1 2, and here is -1 0. Just wait, how did I? Okay, so now for question 7, they're asking us the single transformation that maps triangle A to triangle E is a reflection about which line. Okay, so let's take point -6 2. So we need to find out, like to find the line of reflection, we need to find out the amount of spaces between them, and we need to find the line just in the middle. So here from -6 to 3, that is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So that's 8 like units. Since it's 8 units, we need to move 4 units to get the line of reflection. 1 2 3 4, and that is at x is equal to -1. Just let me draw the line. X is equal to -1. Okay, the single enlargement that maps triangle A onto triangle B is an enlargement with center. Okay, so first let's find the scale factor that makes it easier on us. So to find the scale factor, we do the final length size, which is in this case 2 units over the similar line, which is 1 2 3 4 units, which is 1 over 2. Okay, so we know that the scale factor is 1 over 2. That's good. So now to find the coordinates of the center, we need this rule. So x of x final or x prime is equal to k, which is the scale factor, times original x plus 1 minus k times xi. Xi in this case is the x of the center. So in this case, let's go for this point as our final and this point as our initial. So -2 is equal to kx, which is 0.5 times -5. 0.5 times -5 is -2.5 plus 1 minus 0.5 times x, and then shift solve. We get that x is 1 of the origin. And now for y we do the same thing, but instead of it being x prime we use y prime, and instead of kx it will be ky, and then here it will be yi. So let's use the same points again. So the original has a point like as y coordinate of 2. So does the final. So 2 is equal to half times 2, which is 1, plus 1 minus 0.5 times x. Okay, and we get that the y of the center is 2. Okay. Number 8. The pre-image of P6 -4 under a rotation about the origin through 90 degrees counterclockwise is. First, let's remember the rule of 90 degrees counterclockwise. So 90 counterclockwise is CCW. So, okay, that will be -yx. So here they want the pre-image. So -yx is this. So 6 4 is -yx. So now we know that x is 4. It's -4, sorry, because it's 6 -4. -4 and -6, since here it's -1. Okay, number 9. Why doesn't it skip 2 questions each time? The pre-image of k -3 -2 under a rotation about the origin through 180 degrees. There is no 180 degrees counterclockwise or clockwise, so it's just 180 degrees is -x -y. So here it's just simply 3 2. That's like you just switch the signs for both. That's it. Number 10. The image of P with x9 and y11 under the translation t xy x plus 3y minus 4 is just simply you add 3 to x and then you do 11 minus 4, which is 12 7. Number 11. Fill in the blanks with the whole numbers or decimals. Okay, so let's start with 600 kilograms per meter cube, 2 grams per centimeter cube. So 600 kg per meter cube times. Okay. Since let's start with the kilograms. Since we want to cancel the kilograms and kilograms is up, we're gonna have to put it opposite to it, which is down. And put the grams up. So how many grams is 1 kilogram? 1,000. Okay. So now 1,000 over, and then here, since meter cube is down and we want to cancel it, so we put meter cube up and centimeter cube down. Okay, so from centimeter to meter times 10 to the 2. No, that's wrong. Not from centimeter to meter. From meter to centimeter times 10 to the 2. Okay, now if you cube it, if you cube both sides, instead of 10 to the negative 2, it will be 10 to the power of 5. Okay. 10 to the power of 6, sorry. So, okay. So there are 10 to the power of 5 centimeter cube per meter cube. So here 10 to the power of 5 and 1. This and this cancel. This and this cancel. So it's 600,000. No, sorry, it's 6, 10 to the power of 6, not 5. 600,000 over 10 to the power of 6. So now let's cancel the zeros. So it's 6 over 10 to the power of 1. So 6 over 10 is 0.6 grams per centimeter cube. Okay. 0.8 centimeters squared is how many millimeters squared? So we know from centimeters to millimeters, you do times 10, right? Okay. So if we square both, we square this as well, and it's 100. So 0.8 times 100 is 80. Okay. The last question is relatively easy. We learned this when we were young. So grams to kilograms, you divide by 1,000. Divide by 1,000. So 40. Then we just take 3 decimal points back. So 1, 2, 3, 0.04 kilograms. Okay. Number 12. Suppose that 1 gallon is 3.78 liters. Convert and fill in the blanks with integers or decimal places. Okay. So since 1 gallon is 3.78, so let's make a ratio. 1 gallon to 3.78. Since here they want the gallon, so we put the x here. 2,567 liters. And then we cross multiply. So we do 567 divided by 3.78, which is 150. And then for part B we do the same thing, but we put the gallons here and then we put the liters here. 20 to x. And then we cross multiply again. So we do 20 times 3.78, which is 75.6. 13. Okay. The temperature outside is negative 15 degrees Celsius, and the temperature inside is 25 degrees higher than outside. So first let's find the temperature inside. Okay, which is negative 15 plus 25, which is equal to 10 degrees Celsius. Okay, so from Celsius to Fahrenheit, you do times 9/5 plus 32. So we do 10 times 9/5 plus 32, which is 18 plus 32, which is 50. 32 is equal to 50. Okay, so number 14 now. Just keep skipping twice. Okay. Given an arithmetic sequence with first term -6 and a common difference of 3. Okay, so now un is equal to again u1 plus n minus 1 times d. We all know that. So u1 is the first term of the sequence, n is the index, you can say, of the sequence, which in this case is 30, and d is the common difference. So -6 plus 29 times 3, which is 81. Okay, and now for the sum. So Sn, again we're gonna write the rule, n/2, okay, 2a1, which is the first item of the sequence, plus n minus 1 times d. So n/2, which is 15 brackets 2 times -6 plus 29 times 3, which is 1125, and as we have it here. 15. Fill in the blank to complete the sequence. 25, 28, 31, 34. Okay, so here it's simple. Just here we can notice that the common difference is 3, so we just keep adding 3. So 34 plus 3 is 37. 16. The image of 3, 1 under dik, where I is 0, -4, and k equals to 2. So first of all, we need to write the rule. So this is dilation. X prime, when x prime is k, x is the original x, plus 1 minus k, and then xi is the x of the I in this case. So 3 times 2 plus 1 minus 2 times 0, which is 6. And then we do the same to get y prime. Okay, we do ky plus 1 minus k, and then yi. So ky, which is 2 times 1 plus 1 minus 2 times yi, which is negative 4, which is 6 as well, which is how we got 6, 6. Number 17. The image of A under an enlargement with center at the origin and the scale factor of 2 is... Okay, so first we're gonna, to find the answer of part A, we're gonna have to multiply both x and both the x and y of A by 2. So 4, negative 6. And then the image of A prime under a translation by 1, 5. So here we need to add 4 with 1 and negative 6 with 5, which gives us 5, negative 1. Number 18. The scale fact, okay. In the diagram below, KLM is the image of ABC under a dilation. Okay. So first of all, they want the scale factor. And as I've said before, the scale factor is we get a segment, a size of the segment in the image over the size of the segment in like originally. So 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit, 4. So it's 4 over, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 over 8 is 0.5. Okay. So now to find the coordinates of the center of dilation, we do the same rule as we did for the last few questions. X prime is equal to kx plus 1 minus k times xi. So let's take the coordinates of k to be x prime, so negative 4. So negative 4 is equal to 0.5 times x in this case, since k is corresponding to a, so the x of a is 6 times 6 plus 1 minus 0.5. Let's represent xi with x in this case, times x. So negative 4 is equal to 0.5 times 6, which is 3, plus 0.5x, which is equal to negative 14 as the x. And now we need to find y. So y prime is equal to ky plus 1 minus k and then yi. So ky, which is 0.5 times the y of k, let's take it again, which is 0.5 times 2 plus, y prime, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, I took y as 2, no, but I'm wrong, y prime is 2, not y. So 2 is equal to 0.5 times, let's take the y of a, which is 0, plus 1 minus k, which is 0.5, x, big X. So 2 is equal to 0.5 times 0 plus 0.5x, which gives us yi is equal to 4, which is how we got negative 14, 4. Number 19. Consider the number x estimated by xe is equal to 2.17. What is the largest possible difference between the exact value and the estimated value? Okay, so xe has two, like, how can I say it? To be honest, there are like two ways to get, like, we need to put xe in between, so 2.165, because if you round it you will get 2.17, and then we'll get the closest thing that will get us 2.18, which is 2.175. So we do this minus this, which will give us 0.005. Number 20. What is the number of significant figures in 15,000? Okay, 15,000. So here we count the non-zeros, like, from the left. Like, if there are non-zeros after, if there are zeros after the non-zeros, it doesn't count. So 1, 2, I mean it counts as significant figures, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 21. Round 66.4764 to the nearest gram. 66.4764 to the nearest gram means here. So we underline this and circle this, and if it's greater than 5 we raise the score, so it stays 66 because it's not more than 5. Yeah. Number 22. The first term of an arithmetic sequence is -4 and the common difference is 2. Okay, so Sn is equal to n over 2 brackets 2 of a1 in brackets n minus 1 times d. So in this case n is 20, so 10 brackets 2 times -4 brackets 20 minus 1, which is 19. Wait, I forgot to mention that here we have a plus 19 times 2, which is the difference, and then we get 300. Okay. Number 23. Fill in the blank to complete the following sequence: 2, 4, 6, 10, 16, 26. So in this question you might notice that it doesn't have a common difference. Okay, so here let's start with 2 to 4, we add 2, and then from 4 to 6 we add 2 again, and then from 6 to 10 we add the last 2 behind each other. Then from 10 to 16 we did 10 plus 6. So for the next term we just do 16 plus 10 and we get 26. This is a type of sequence called Fibonacci, probably named after an Italian guy. Fill in the blank to complete the following sequence: 248, 124. So from 248 to 124 we divide by 2, and from 124 to 62 we divide by 2, and from 62 to 31 we divide by 2 as well. This one is called geometric, but it's with division, not multiplication. Number 25. Fill in the blanks to complete the following sequence: 3, 6, 9, 15. Okay, so from 3 to 6 we add 3, and from 6 to 9 we add these two together, and from 9 to 15 we add these two together, and then for the next term we just add these two together. That's it. Number 26. What is the number of significant figures in 0.01030? So as I said before, the non-zeros to the left don't count, so skip these two. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Number 27. Round 66.4764 grams to the nearest centigram. Okay, to the nearest centigram means to the nearest, like, 2 decimal places. 4764. So here. And then circle this. Since 6 is more than 5, so we raise the score. By raising the score, we just add 1 to the one before it. So it's just 66.48. Grade 5 material. Number 28. Round 66.4764 to the nearest milligram. The same thing, but this time we round up to the closest like 3 decimal places. Sorry guys, my headset disconnected. Okay, so to the nearest 3 like decimal places, so here, so we circle this. Since 4 is less than 5, we don't raise the score, so it's just 66.476. Number 29. Around 0.021439 to 3 decimal places. Let me write the number. 0.021439. So to the nearest 3 decimal places, so we count like 3 digits after the decimal place. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we underline this and we circle the one after it. And since 4 is less than 5, it just stays 0.021. 0.021. Okay, number 30. What is the number of significant figures in 0.0240? 0.0024. 0.002040. So we skip the non-zeros before, we skip the zeros to the left, sorry. So, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. The length of a rectangle is 10. The area A of a rectangle correct to 2 significant figures is 79. So here we do the same thing we did a while ago. So 79. Okay. So what is the closest, like the minimum, so we can get 79, 78.5. And then what is the minimum, so we get 80, 79.5. Okay. Part B. The minimum possible value of the width W of the rectangle is. Okay, so we know that the width is the area over the length. For this question I have a really easy way. Just do the area over the length, then do what I did for the area basically. So 79 over 10 is 7.9. Okay, so 7.9. What is the minimum, like, number after rounding you get 7.9? 7.85. And here would be 7.95, because that would be the closest to 8. So we take 7.85 because they're asking for the minimum value, so we take the smallest. 32. To one significant figure, a number x is equal to what? Is equal to 5. So 5 here, here. So what is the minimum, like after rounding we'll get 5 would be 4.5. And what is the maximum, like what is the minimum that after rounding we get 6? That would be 5.5. So here, since they want the minimum value, we just take 4.5. 33. The image of A under an enlargement with center at the origin and the scale factor 3 is. Okay, so if it is around the origin, using the scale factor is really simple. Just kx, which is the scale factor times x, and then the comma, scale factor times y. So becomes -6, right? So a few questions ago we did basically the same thing for part B. So the image of A under translation by 1, 4 is -6, 9. Okay, so we add 1, which will give us -5. Then we add 4 to 9, which will give us 30. We're almost done. 34. The coordinates of the images M, N, and R respectively are. Okay, so look, in my opinion, the easiest way to do this is by drawing it. So let me. So they said by the line y is equal to -1. So let's just draw it. Sorry for the bad drawing, guys. Wait, let me make it easier on myself, like this. Okay, it's the first one, the second one. Okay. So let's go back to the question. And I'm gonna. Let me just take the question. Okay. Oh, okay. So let me just. Okay. Add to current page. Let's move this down. Okay. So y is equal to -1 is a horizontal line, like this. It's not as like curly as I did. It's not curly at all, but since my handwriting is bad. Okay, so M is at 3, 1, so this is M. N is -2, -1, so here. And then R is at 2, 0, so here. Okay. Is this a triangle? Okay, so now we need to do reflection. So let me just. Oh my goodness, this question. Okay, anyway. Wait, let me just draw a better graph under this question. Okay, then here is the y-axis, then here is the axis of reflection. Okay, so let me draw the points in a different color, in blue let's say. M is 3, 1. N is negative 2, negative 1. So here, here. Then R is 2, 0 here. Okay. So they want it under a reflection of y equals to negative 1. So first let's get the coordinates of M, which starts at 3, 1. So to find out the reflection after, we need to find the distance between the just let me extend it, between the point and the axis of reflection, which in this case 2 units. So we move it 2 units down. 1, 2, which is -3, -3. I mean 3, -3. My bad. Okay, and since n is already at the axis of reflection, the coordinates doesn't change, it just stays the same. And then r. Okay, so r is 2, 0. So let's see how many units away from the axis of reflection. 1. Okay, and then we need to move 1 more, so it will be here. So these are the points for the new image. 35. The pre-image of D3 -3, 5 under a rotation about the origin through 270 degrees counterclockwise. 270 degrees counterclockwise is y negative x. Y negative x. So 3, 5. So we need to find the pre-image, which is like the original. So that means x was -5, and then y just stays the same, but we put it like at the actual spot, so it's -5, 3 as we have here. By the way, all of the 90 degrees clockwise, counterclockwise, and 270 has to be memorized by heart. Select on the grid below the vertices of the image of triangle ABC under a rotation of 90 degrees clockwise about the origin, followed by reflection on y equals to -1. Oh, I hate these types of questions. Anyways, so first let's get the points of A, B, and C. So A is -3, 1. B is -3, 4. And C is equal to -1, 4. Okay, so first they want 90 degrees clockwise, which is y negative x. Not here. Y negative x. So A would be 1, 3. And then B would be -4, -3. Right, okay. While C will be -4, -1. Okay, now here, why am I doing this? So now let's plot these points in blue. So, am I doing this right? Oh yeah, I am. Okay. So let's plot the points. 1, 3, -4. Yeah. So -4, -3, -4, -3. Wait, no, that's not it. -4, -3, and -4, -1. So here. Okay. So now after that they want a reflection about y is equal to -1. Definitely did this wrong. Definitely did this wrong. Shift 5. Stop. Turns out I did something wrong with B and C, so instead of it being -4, -3, it is 4, 3. And here it is gonna be 1, 4. So 4, 1. So let me regraph the points. Till that horrendous mistake. 1, 3, 4, 3, and 4, 1 here. So now they want reflection about y is equal to -1. This line. Let's start with C first, since it's closest to the line. So let's first find out the distance between the axis of reflection and the point. 1, 2. So we move 2 points in the same direction. 1, 2. So C is here. Then let's do the same with B. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need to move 4 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's here. Let me remove the trail. Okay. Didn't move. Didn't move. Okay, anyways. How did it manage to move again? This little thing. Let me find a way to fix it. So as we said here, -1, 1, 3, 4, 3, and 4, 1. Let's find out the distance. Here we have 2, so we move 2, so it's here. Then we find out the distance between B and the axis of symmetry. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we move 4 in the same direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's here. Then same for A. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we move 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's draw the triangle in case of a written part here. 2 more questions left. Number 37. 0.2 meters is okay. So meters to centimeters, you do times 100. So 0.2, move 2 to the right, that's 20. 1 liter is 1000 milliliters. 1 liter, 2 milliliter times 1000. So 5 times 1,000 is 5,000. Okay, so from 30 millimeters to meters. Let's see. Let's think. Get me. Okay, so from millimeters to meters, we divide by 1,000. So we do 30, then 1, 2, 3, 0.03. Okay. Last question for the day. Okay, so this one we need to use ratios. $320 is how many Canadian dollars? Okay, so first let's use the ratio. $1, which is D in this case, will give us Canadian dollar 1.3 C. So $320 will give us how much? Just cross multiply. You do 320 times 1.3, which is 460. And then you do the same thing. 316 euros. Okay, so first let's do the ratio. $1 is 0.79 euros. So $316 would be, no, they want how many dollars in the euros. So x to 316. So 316 divided by 0.79, which is 400. So for this one, this is a bit tough. So first we're gonna have to convert the euros to dollars. So $1 is 0.79 euros. So how many dollars is that? X is equal to 158. So we do 158 divided by 0.79, which will give us $200. But here they want it in pounds, British pounds. So 1 to 0.59 is equal to 200 to x. So we do 0.59 times 200, which will give us 180. We do the same thing for the last one. So 354 British pounds is how many dollars? So $1 is 0.59 British pounds. So how many dollars is 354? So we do 354 divided by 0.59, which is 600. So $1 is 125 yen. Don't ask me how I know that. $600 is how many yen? So you just do 600 times 125. Okay, which will give us 75,000. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope this video helped you so much. If this video benefited you, please like and subscribe to receive updates on more videos, and good luck on your exam. Goodbye.